Fire blaze, fire blaze, fire blaze. I just start at it up, at it up, at it up. At it up, at it up, at it up. Fire blaze turn up, he then get burn up. Anyway, them say I just.
Mindset, blessed love, manners, and respect. Want to greet the item in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Kadamawi Haile Selassie I the First, and also Empress Menin the First, Holy Emmanuel I, Haile Selassie I Jah, Rastafari, one more day above ground, beautiful viewers and subscribers, as the item know, life is our ultimate position and nothing no greater than that. No matter what going on and everything that is going on. Today we're here to look at the Rastafari community and the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. Alright? Yes. And as you know, over the years there has been misinterpretation of Rasta burning church. Alright? Yes, they are them hear I correctly. They have been misinterpretation of Rasta burning church. Yeah, man. Because why Rasta would burn church? What angle do you come from when you say Rasta burn church? Is it a metaphorical angle? Zine, because certainly in the Rastafari existence there have never been a physical burning of any church from the Rastafari community. But verbally, metaphorically, they have been burning of the colonial. Yes, the colonial church, which go under Rome. And Rasta is resistance to Rome. Because Rome, along with the Pharisees and Sadducees and scribe, crucify Christ. So, for that, Rasta burn the church and its involvement in slavery, colonialism, imperialism. Rasta burn the Western imperial churchical system that have played and wear many hats in misindoctrinating people. Corruption at many different levels. And for these things, Rasta have burned the Western imperial and colonial churchical system that have shackled the minds of African people. After shackle them physically, the church then come and shackle them psychologically. So for that interference of I and I spiritual system, Rasta burn the Western churchical system on a metaphorical level. Zin? So, let we go into this thing. But before we do so, take a listen.
Mama Africa calling all my people. Black Star Ghana calling all my people. Burkina Faso calling all my people. Ethiopia calling all my people. Never too late for show off friend my people.
So why the confusion? And let we clear it up. Because over the years, the confusion have come from probably two sources. So, the Rastafari have always been a resistance. And was often framed by colonial church authorities as violent or rebellious, even when it was spiritual or symbolic. Some Rasta rejected institutional Christianity, calling it Babylon. And this ideological stance may have been misinterpreted or exaggerated as physical attack on churches. Historical bias in the media and government's report often painted Rastafari as a threat, fueling myth of violence. So it is always two sources that misinterpretation came from, that Rasta physically want to do such thing, when in the history of Rastafari no such thing have ever taken places. Is mostly when Rastafari musicians came out and start burn certain things, so them burn Bible and them burn this and them burn everything. But they wasn't talking on a physical level. They wasn't talking it on a physical level, and it was misinterpreted by a lot of people. But some of these musicians did clear up the misunderstanding and tell you why they burn money and they burn materialism and imperialism. They told you. So anyway, let we go into this thing here. The Rastafari movement revered the Ethiopian Orthodox Church as a spiritual beacon. So I and I as a people, as a community, we revere the Orthodox Church, as a spiritual beacon. Yet the two remain distinct in ideology or theology, practice, and identity, while both honor Emperor Haile Selassie. Their interpretation of this or Israel diverge. Rastafari seeing him as divine while the church does not. And that is where the Rastafari community and the church differ, because the Rastafari community sees His Majesty as the Creator, Ivine, or divine, or whichever way you want to term it. We see Him as the Creator. That is how Rastas look at His Majesty, is the Christ return. Right? So His Majesty Haile Selassie I is central to both tradition. Rastafari revere him as God incarnate, Jah Rastafari, the returned Messiah, fulfilling biblical prophecies. So you know, so the Bible is a book that we use to identify, yes, His Majesty divinity, because Christ is divine. And when we read about Christ and we see His Majesty now in the physical realm, because we saw His Majesty physically, I did. We didn't saw the Christ of 2025 years ago. We didn't saw him physically, but we saw now His Majesty, that the Bible speak about, right? The Lion of Judah, the King of Kings. The Bible distinctly speak that about Christ. And the only Christ that we know of, apart from Christ 2025 years ago, is His Majesty wearing those exact title in a kingly character. So that's where the Rastafari community and the church differs. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church honor him as a devoted Christian emperor and defender of the faith, but not divine. That is what I'm saying. The church, Ethiopian Orthodox Church, doesn't see him as divine. Ethiopia as Zion, the Rastafari view, as a promised land, and a spiritual homeland for the African diaspora, while the church see Ethiopia as a holy land with ancient Christian roots dating back to the 4th century. Right? So, some Rastafari have joined the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, especially after the church was established in the 1970s. However, many found the church rejection of His Imperial Majesty divinity and smoking ganja and the dreadlocks. The most ones never did accept that. They wanted the church to have the same ideology as I, but the church didn't have that. The church have their own ideology, right? Now, cultural misunderstanding. The church sometimes view Rastafari as heretical or synthetic, while Rastafari view the church as too rigid or colonial in practice. Bridges of unity. Despite differences, both traditions share a deep love for Ethiopia, Africans' dignity, and spiritual liberation. Some leaders and scholars have called for greater mutual respect and dialogue, and that is important. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church remains a powerful symbol of African Christianity and resistance to colonialism. The Rastafari movement continues to evolve globally, inspiring music, culture, and social justice rooted in African identity and spiritual sovereignty. All right? Yeah, spiritual sovereignty, because when we chant Niyahbingi, that is our spiritual sovereignty. You know, that separates us from all the, we call it, colonial spiritual corruption, which would probably go under religion. All right, because they try to corrupt spirituality, which you cannot corrupt spirituality. You can, by trying that, what you will end up with is religion. You know what I mean? And I as Rastafari, I practice is a way of life. It's nothing religious at all. You understand? But I think that it is good to partake in the church, in the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo church. I think it's a good thing. I think because that is the African Christian church. That is the oldest African Christian church of all time. And His Majesty went there, and he is the defender of the Ethiopian Orthodox faith. So I think it's a good thing that every Rasta, barring none, should be a part of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, or have some level of experience of what the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church is all about. All right, my brothers and sisters, so manners and respect, peace and love. It was great having the item here. I hope this was uplifting and infilling for the item. All right, please remember to subscribe, share if you haven't done so already. All right, manners and respect, peace and love, and we see the item on the rebound. I'm believing the item with a couple of video clips that I think will interest the item, because it's only Rastafari you will see in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church chanting Rastafari or chanting Niyahbingi. All right, so mindset, manners and respect, peace and love, Rastafari.
Exhiabir, 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 oh Exhiabir, Exio, 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 oh Exio, in Leminale. Ethiopia, 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 stretch forth our hand.
One shot can't miss, gotta hit the target. Positive energy, destroy enemies. Bad vibes and jealousy, we no want round we. Wrong type of friends, them drain energy. Protect your energy, them not feel like we.
Smash that subscribe button. See you on the next video. I just start the mindset.